Hey guys, I hope you're all doing good today, and I hope you're all looking forward to Life Day, which is tomorrow. Now, I have finished this fan fiction, so this is the full final version of it. I've had so much fun making it, and to be honest with you, it's longer than I actually imagined it would be. I got so engrossed in this story where I had so many ideas coming to me as I was going, and to be honest with you, it could have been even longer. So if you guys enjoy it, even though this is meant to be the end of it, let me know in the comments, and I'd be more than up for doing a part 3 and picking this story up, maybe with a time jump of a few years and seeing where things wind up. Now, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, that'd be really good, and if you enjoyed today's story, then leave a like on the video. That would be really appreciated, really helps the channel grow. But without further ado, let's jump in. The time on the screen now is the time that you can skip to if you've already caught part 1 and you just want to get part 2. But if you haven't seen part 1 yet, then just let it go from the beginning and enjoy. During Revenge of the Sith, we see Anakin fall deeper and deeper into the dark side, all for the purpose of saving his wife and mother to their unborn child, or as we know, children, from death, which we saw happen in a vision. Anakin took this vision very seriously, as he experienced one similar to this about his mother, just before she died. Anakin wasn't going to stand by and allow the same fate to befall Padme. In a bid to save his wife, Anakin sought counsel from the wise Jedi Master Yoda, who simply told him to let go of all he feared to lose, whilst Palpatine already knew what was troubling Anakin, even telling Anakin of a Sith legend who could cheat death. Determined to save Padme, Anakin continued down the dark path laid before him. But in today's video, we'll be looking at what would have happened if Anakin didn't give in to the dark side. What if Anakin never became Darth Vader? Remember to subscribe if you're new to the channel and you want to catch more of my Star Wars What If videos, and also leave a like if you enjoyed today's story too. Anakin has learned the dark truth that Palpatine is the Sith Lord they've been looking for, and is trained in the ways of the dark side, telling Anakin of the ability to save Padme from death, a power that he claimed Plagueis had known. Anakin informed Mace Windu, and despite his request, was sent to the council chambers, whilst Mace and a few other Jedi went to the Chancellor's office to confront and arrest him. Whilst in the council chambers, Anakin looks out from the window to the horizon. Fear and rage washed over him like a wave of lava on Mustafar, knowing any hope he has of saving Padme would be dashed away if anything were to happen to the Chancellor. Anakin's emotions took control, as they often do, and he left the council chambers, heading for the Chancellor's office. Something much more important than his place in the Jedi Order was on the line. Anakin enters the Chancellor's office to see some of his Jedi Masters lying dead on the floor, and Mace pointing a lightsaber at a defenceless Palpatine. After a moment of Palpatine trying to convince Anakin that the Jedi were trying to take over, and about a Force lightning being deflected off of Mace's saber straight back to the soon-to-be Emperor, severely injuring him, seemingly leaving him close to death, Mace decides enough is enough. Palpatine must die before any other Jedi fall at his hand. Palpatine had control of the Senates and the court. He was almost untouchable from a legal standpoint. Despite Anakin reminding him of the Jedi way and that Palpatine must stand trial, Mace decides his survival is too dangerous. As he lifts his blade and strikes it down towards the Emperor, in an instant Anakin quickly ignites his. A flash of blue intercepts the purple blade. Anakin had stopped the Jedi Master's attack, his eyes firmly fixed on Windu's, looking for any indication from Windu's body language of his next move. Anakin knows Mace is one of the most powerful Jedi Masters, and if Mace were to take this the wrong way, he'd really be in for a tough time. Mace is more skilled in lightsaber combat than he was, and at this point had a much greater knowledge of the Force. But Anakin was the chosen one, he was no longer a novice himself. Stand down, Skywalker. He is an unarmed prisoner. He is a Sith. He is never unarmed. I won't tell you again. Now step aside. A smile creeps on Palpatine's face as he shoots another round of Force lightning directly at the distracted Mace Windu, sending him across the room, leaving the Jedi Master motionless on the floor. Anakin turns towards the Chancellor with his blade ignited, prepared to deflect any lightning that could come his way. Well done, Anakin. I knew I could count on you not to betray me. I didn't do it for you. You'll teach me these powers and then a Jedi can have you. To use the abilities of the dark side of the Force, one must first embrace it. Become my apprentice and learn the way to save Padme. Anakin looks conflicted. Mace gains consciousness, ignites his lightsaber, and uses his comlink to contact the rest of the Council. Come to the Chancellor's office at once. Palpatine is the Sith Lord we've been looking for. We're going to need backup to make an arrest. Mace walks towards Anakin and stands by his side, both lightsabers pointed towards Palpatine, ready to take any attack he might attempt towards him. We will deal with your actions later, Skywalker. I just hope they don't come back to bite us all. As long as Palpatine alive, do what you must. Just remember it's against the Jedi way to strike an unarmed prisoner. Mace glances at Anakin from the corner of his eye. He can't believe the lack of respect Skywalker is showing him. Is this young apprentice really going to correct his actions after going on to disobey a Jedi Master's orders? Yoda, Obi-Wan and Plo Koon enter the room. Obi-Wan stops to check the fallen Jedi to see if there are any still alive. There aren't. Yoda and Plo Koon walk towards Anakin, Mace and the Chancellor. Hidden yourself well from us you have, Darth Sidious. Yoda looks over to Anakin and motions for him to step aside as Yoda ignites his lightsaber and takes his place alongside Mace Windu. Inform the Senate of the Chancellor's true identity. Stand trial for his crimes, he will. Yes, ma'am. Send Plo instead, Master. We have some questions for young Skywalker ourselves. The boy has secrets that he's not telling us. I was right, the boy can't be trusted. Anakin looks over to Mace with a look of anger in his eyes. Obi-Wan, shocked and confused, looks over to Mace and then to Anakin. He can sense the rage bubbling inside his apprentice. Come along, Anakin. We'll deal with this later. Palpatine knows he is outnumbered. There are too many Jedi for him to take alone. He had planned to have his new apprentice by his side by now, but that hasn't quite worked out. However, he still has one last trick up his sleeve. Whilst the Jedi deliberate amongst themselves over what to do next with the extremely powerful Chancellor, Palpatine senses a window of opportunity. He takes one step back and purposely falls from the window in which he and Mace broke during their duel. Using his Force lightning to slow him down to ensure a smooth landing on the ground, the Jedi look out from the window at the busy city below, seeing flashes of blue-purple lightning as Palpatine descends out of sight. At this moment, the Jedi realise they are now on the wrong side of the law. Now Palpatine has escaped, his next move will be to destroy the Jedi Order and ensure their reputation of peacekeepers and guardians is replaced by that of traitors and murderers. As soon as Palpatine reaches the ground, he reaches for his handheld holoprojector from his pocket. Execute Order 66. The Emperor's command begins to rage across the galaxy, like a forest fire on Endor. The clones have turned against their Jedi allies, and destruction of the Jedi Order has begun. This time though, thanks to Anakin not cutting off Mace Windu's hand, leading him to actually survive the events that seemingly killed him off in Revenge of the Sith, he was able to call for backup, meaning Jedi Master Plo Koon also survived. With Yoda, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu and Plo all surviving recognised members of the Jedi Council, they are far better off than they were in the movie during the beginning of Order 66. Let's not forget the countless other Jedi that are still scattered across the galaxy. They now have their masters to reunite with as a reference point. Ultimately, our heroes are too late to save the younglings in the Jedi Temple. They were simply overrun with clones and the temple has been destroyed nonetheless. Mace, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Plo and Anakin fight their way through the onslaught of clones that have been sent to the Chancellor's office by Palpatine. The Jedi return to what remains of the temple after Obi-Wan's idea of scrambling the coded transmission to warn any other Jedi of the trap that awaits them if they return, and to simply advise them to follow the Force, which should lead them to the other Jedi, allowing them to all regroup. Once reaching a suitable ship, wise Master Yoda instructs the remaining council members of their next steps.
A place I know, where we will be safe. Allow us to regroup and plan our next move, it will. The coordinates I will send you. For now, to my homeworld I must go. A mission I have.
Yoda sends over the coordinates to Dagobah, and the group prepare to leave for their new destination, but Anakin on the other hand, informs the council he has other business to attend to before he leaves. Upon hearing this, Mace turns around to face Anakin. Listen boy, thanks to your arrogance and lack of foresight, you have almost destroyed the Jedi Order. I suggest you speak your truths now before I Obi-Wan, who is walking beside Anakin, has long suspected he could be the father to Padme's baby. He stands between Anakin and Mace to try and prevent any further conflict. Tensions among the group are extremely high. Anakin has been going through some troubles, but I do trust him. He won't let me down, he never has. I suggest we allow him 5 minutes before we leave. Mace turns around and boards the ship without saying a word. Master Plo nods in agreement before boarding himself. Be quick, my friend. Make your arrangements and return here. We will wait for you. Once at Dagobah, we can put this all right. Yes, Master. Anakin makes his way over to Padme's living quarters to find the door open. Anakin steps inside to see the room has been rampaged, many of Padme's personal belongings smashed across the floor. Anakin can sense Palpatine. Your wife is safe with me, son. She is with me so I can protect her from certain death. Join us, Anakin. I can't save her alone. Thousand thoughts raced through Anakin's mind faster than the pod races on Tatooine. His face became quickly very warm, to the point he is physically sweating. He falls down to his knees and, through a build-up of pure rage, lets out a yell which can be heard all through the corridors, and with his right robotic arm, he punches directly into the ground below him, making a hole about 6 inches deep, thanks to the additional strength his cybernetic limb has gifted him. Half a dozen stormtroopers arrive, alerted to Anakin's yell. They barely manage to set foot in the room before they succumb to Anakin's forced stasis. All 6 troopers are frozen still. Anakin rises back to his feet and turns to face them. Holding back his tears and with a look of complete hatred on his face, he raises his hand and force chokes all of the troopers simultaneously, before they all drop to the floor dead. He puts up his hood and leaves to find Padme. Anakin is going through more emotional turmoil than ever before. Who is really on his side here? Is it the Jedi, an order that he's been part of since he was a young boy? Or is it Palpatine, who has become a good friend in recent years, and is actually offering a solution to his problems? Or are his problems all a fabrication of the dark side? Regardless, the dark side has never felt stronger within him, struggling to hold on to the little light that he has left. Padme, their baby, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon's early teachings really are the only things keeping him slightly within the light. Qui-Gon, Anakin thinks to himself as he surges his way through the seemingly endless corridors searching for his love. That's someone I could really do with right now, for his wisdom and his understanding of the wider views on life. Back at the ship, 20 minutes have now passed and Mace is becoming extremely irritated by the delay. Obi-Wan's 5-minute suggestion was realistically an impossible time frame for Anakin to complete what he needed to. However, Kenobi didn't mean it literally, but to Mace, it meant a 5 minutes maximum. The boy has had his time, and yet he is still to reappear. We need to leave now if the Jedi Order is to survive. The supposed Chosen One isn't worth the risk. Obi-Wan hesitates for a second before nodding in agreement. Obi-Wan understands what Mace is saying is true, however difficult the decision is to leave behind not just his apprentice, but also his brother. As the Jedi board the ship, Obi-Wan takes one last look out from the door before it closes and sighs. Oh, Anakin. Plo soon comes to comfort Obi-Wan by reminding him of the prophecy of the Chosen One, and if Anakin is indeed that as the Jedi believe he is, today will not be his last. The ship departs on course for Dagobah. After charging through the onslaught of troopers that endlessly seem to be arriving, tapping further and further into the dark side of the Force to eliminate his enemies even quicker, Anakin's eyes begin to shift from a blue to a mist over yellow. The dark side has begun to physically change him now. Anakin can feel his newly discovered powers doubling by the minute. He knows it is wrong, but if he is to face Palpatine, he'll need all the help he can get. Anakin arrives to the section of where the higher ranking members of the Republic retire after a day's work. Although almost blinded by his rage and uncontrollable powers, he's still aware enough not to trust them. This place is usually packed, Anakin thought. Palpatine must be here. Anakin walks towards the doors, guarded by 2 clones. Once they spot the Jedi, they begin to open fire on him. Anakin again freezes them with the Force, this time not choking them. He begins to crush them, listening to their screams as their helmets pressed into their skulls. As he goes to open the door, he hears a voice. A voice he has longed to hear for a long time. It sent shivers down his back and his eyes faded back to blue. It was his old master, Qui-Gon. Anakin. Master Qui-Gon, It's good to hear your voice. You have become very powerful, and I am very proud of you. But you're also conflicted. I know you had a vision about your wife. Your mind, like anything in the physical realm, can be bent to the desires of another. Search deep within, and let the Force guide you through every decision you make. Then you will see what it truly is and isn't. May the Force be with you, Anakin, and know I will always be with you. As Anakin opens the doors and enters the room, the first thing he sees is Padme and Palpatine facing out the window in deep discussion. Padme and the Chancellor turn around and Padme runs straight into Anakin's arms with a grip so tight he wasn't sure she'd ever let him go.
Anakin!
Are you okay, my love? Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Chancellor Palpatine came to find me. He told me everything that happened. I can't believe it. He told me you risked everything to save him.
Your room was ransacked. What happened? I thought you were in trouble. Padme looks at Anakin with a confused look in her eyes. Anakin looks up to see Palpatine still standing by the window.
Welcome, Anakin. I knew you wouldn't leave us.
Liar! The Jedi never betrayed you. You're the reason we're still in this war.
The war is over, Anakin. You know what the Jedi had planned. The sooner you break through the fog of the Jedi, my son, the safer you both will be. The Jedi's betrayal is the ultimate failure. Thanks to their lack of foresight and their lack of understanding, they have lost the very best of them. With my training, I can help you reach your full potential, and together we can bring peace and order to the galaxy.
Anakin looks at Padme and remembers all they have planned together. A quiet life by the lake on Naboo, raising their baby. The family life he'd always wanted. A life away from being told who he can love. Fighting for a cause he no longer believes in, and from calling someone else master. The Jedi Order is extremely flawed, and if the Sith don't bring about their downfall, they'll soon bring about their own. Anakin has heard stories of what the Sith are capable of. But what point is having all of this power if he has no one to protect it with? Searching deep within Anakin, he can sense that Padme will not die in childbirth. Naturally, at least anyway. If it were to happen, it would be from unnatural sources. Anakin motions for Padme to step aside. I thank you, Chancellor, for ensuring Padme's safety. However, I will be declining your request. The ways of both the Sith and the Jedi don't sit right with me, and I will be leaving it all behind for a life I'd always wanted. A scowl turns into a smile upon Palpatine's face.
It wasn't a request, it was an order.
Palpatine strikes defenseless Padme with his Force lightning, only striking her for a brief, but potentially life-threatening amount of time for a non-Force user before Anakin blocks it with his saber. Anakin held off the lightning and in a few moments, thankfully, Padme opens her eyes. Anakin fixes his attention to Palpatine. The yellowish hue returns to his eyes, and he sends a shockwave of pure Force energy into the ground towards Palpatine, striking him from his feet, sending him into the air and back down to the floor. Anakin ignites his lightsaber and lashes it towards the flawed Chancellor, who then uses the Force to summon a lightsaber of his own, stashed between a clutter of ornaments taken over his desk. The two blades clashed, with Anakin leaning over Palpatine, giving every ounce of his strength to push his blade through the Sith Lord's chest and end this once and for all. With Anakin using all of his energy on attack, he leaves his defense open, and Palpatine uses that vulnerability to quickly land a powerful blast of Force lightning directly into Anakin's face, sending him flying back over onto the floor, Anakin's face slightly smouldering with the minor burns. The pair rise to their feet, Anakin just before Palpatine, and that brief second gives Anakin the exact opportunity he needed. Palpatine rises to his feet and with a smile on his face, stretches out his arms preparing for another round of Force lightning. Suddenly, a crimson glow reflects onto Palpatine's face as a smile soon turns into a look of fear. His own lightsaber is coming out from his chest, impaled from behind while he got back onto his feet. The Sith Lord falls to the floor, lifeless. Anakin doesn't take the time to ensure he's finally dead, but it would take a lot to come back from that. Instead, Anakin rushes over to Padme, who by this time has managed to sit herself up against the wall, awake, but not 100% with it just yet. A physically exhausted and injured Anakin scoops up his wife and leaves Palpatine's quarters in search of a ship to finally leave this awful place. Anakin and Padme made it to the closest medical facility away from Coruscant, where Padme and Anakin both received the medical treatment they needed. And whilst undergoing their treatments, to their surprise, became parents to not one but two healthy children, Luke and Leia. 5 months pass and the new family have settled into their home on the lake, by the lake on Naboo, still adjusting to their new lives but doing so with a heart full of love and content. With the Republic in disarray and the Jedi seemingly vanished from the galaxy, the role of Chancellor fell to Mas Amedda, who was Palpatine's right-hand man during his time in office, and much like his predecessor, continued to push for a galactic empire himself. For the time being, the Jedi remained on Dagobah. In the weeks following Order 66, around a dozen Jedi also made their way over too, taking this time in exile to re-evaluate how the Order will continue to function going forwards, in a galaxy that believes they're all traitors and murderers, whilst also preparing themselves for their eventual return to the galaxy, although no final decisions will be made until Master Yoda completes his mission and returns to his fellow Jedi. Well guys, that's the fan fiction, and I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did making it. Thanks so much for watching the whole thing, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support you guys show by watching the videos, and even likes, comments, subscribing. It's really helping the channel, and I'm having so much fun doing this content on here, and it seems like you guys are enjoying it as well, which is really nice. So long may it continue into 2022. Just to sign off on this one, I hope you all have a fantastic life day tomorrow, and I will be looking into the possibilities of doing some sort of giveaway Boba Fett related to celebrate a year-long hiatus from Star Wars live action, with the Book of Boba Fett coming out a few days from now. So keep an eye out on the channel. Once I've worked out the terms, conditions, the rules that I have to follow with YouTube so I can do it legally, then I will drop that up there, make it as easy as possible for you guys to join in and enter it, and then let's just share the love a little bit, shall we? But yeah, remember, if you're new to the channel, it'd be great if you could subscribe, and if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. I'll leave that one here, and I will catch you in the next video. May the Force be with you all.